Welcome everybody, Malta Archery again. Today we do a quick, or I don't know if it will be a quick one, but we do a comparison about twin bows. I have 3 of them here. The mostly you know is the Snake from Armin. So quickly, what is a twin bow? Twin bow is quite simple. You have 2 arrow shelves, one on the right, one on the left, built into the bow. So you can put your arrow on it, you can put a knocking point on it. Always easier for a beginner when you have a shelf and a knocking point than to shoot directly from bare hand without knocking point or whatsoever. That's why twin bows have their purpose and their place in the market. And we always used, as you know, the Snake Recurve 60-inch one-piece plastic bow by Armin. Youth flat bow from Flat Bow and Mongo, which has roughly the same length. And you can have it as twin bow with 2 arrow shelves on it. Recently we got the Mongo from Oak Ridge, which is a twin bow too, as you know, in my way, from nock to nock alongside the belly, because the Snake is the only recurve bow of the 3. The other ones are reflex, deflex, or only deflex bows. So that's why, even if it looks shorter, might be the same length nock to nock like the others. So I said they're supposed to be 60 inches. Let's see where I end up. I end up at 61 inches when I do nock to nock. Then this bow has 61 inches. Flat Bow and Mongo has, see, it's quite simple. From nock alongside the belly, you take the contour with you. Oops. So, but it's not rocket science. So we have 58 inches, is a tiny little shorter. And the other one is 61 inches too, because I remember I did this yesterday or 2 days ago. The shape, as you see, this is a recurve bow. This is a deflex, reflex bow. So there's a slightly deflex in it, and there comes the reflex. And this one is a simple reflex bow. So we have everything we could ask for, from recurve to deflex, reflex to reflex. This is a difference. Does it make a big difference for a beginner when you get your first bow? I don't think so. Brace height of the bow, Armin, we have it always roughly at 7.5 inches, can have 8 inches. Flat Bow and Mongo 6 1/3. And as said, with the Mongo, there are different opinions out there. We have them now at 7 inches, works just fine. The max draw length on the other side, we always shot the Snake bow 32 inches until they told us it's not safe, only max draw 30 inches. So draw length 30 inches, Mongo 30 inches, and Flat Bow and Mongo officially 28 inches. So this one is a little shorter. Poundages, available poundages, and this is the downside of the Armin of the Snake. You can have this bow in 18 pounds, in 22 and 26 pounds. This is a 22-pound version. Of course, there's a junior version with 15 pounds, but we speak about adult bows today. So only 3 poundages available from 18 to 26. The Flat Bow and Mongo bow is available from 16 to 40 pounds in 5-pound increments. The Mongo is available from 20 to 45 pound in 5-pound increments. Price of the Snake, it's quite different. From 50 to 100 euros, you can find everything on the internet, so I give it a 75 average. Flat Bow and Mongo costs 75 euros. And the Mongo, the same, different prices, but they end up roughly at 90 euros. So with the Flat Bow and Mongo, you get a sleeve. The different options you can have the bow. So far I only saw the Snake bow in black, but sometimes I saw posts from Armin that they built this bow in silver, in purple, in blue, then and even in variations of colors, but I never saw them, so we never had them. I don't know if they exist on the market or not. Mongo is bamboo and this diamond wood. And the nice thing on the Flat Bow and Mongo, you can have this in ash, this is black poplar, or in mahogany. So you have different color or design style options for this bow. Snake Roland, how easy is it to string? In a step-through method. Easy. Of course you have to overcome a little the recurve, but it's easy. How easy is it to string the Flat Bow and Mongo bow? With the step-through method. A little easy. because it's a long bow, not a recurve bow. And the Mongo stringing, easy too. So all three are easy to string, easy to unstring, don't have to care about anything. Handle wise, Agrelon is the piece of plastic as we know it. Flagellate, you get a leather wrap in suede with a nice band on it, and in the Mongo again leather wrap with a thread. Feeling of the handle, Snake always feels good. The only thing is here in the front you see this opening, most probably production purpose, but here when you shoot this bow often you get here slightly kind of a hard skin because of this edge there when you hold the bow there. So you have here slightly sharp edgy and sometimes you feel it, but other than that this handle is awesome, does everything what it needs to do and is big enough for even my big hand. Handle of Flagellate has a nice profile to it, as you see down there for the root of the thumb. Nice, is almost rounded. Front a little edgy, the back is nice and rounded, so it's really nice made. Really nice control, so really good. The Mongo, you need to get used to it. It's very narrow but very deep. So here you wrap your fingers around and you have more, you know, like it's not round, it's more edgy, but it's still profile, and once you get used to it, it's not bad either. To the finish of the bows, you can't say a lot about the one-piece plastic. Everything is nice and smooth. There are no edges, nothing scratchy. Nice made, of course, you see it's a piece of plastic. The strings from Agrelon are endless. They have a nice whipping, nice serving around it. They're good, and they come normally with a small knocking point and two of these plastic arrow rests, which we never use. This is what you get there. So finishing is always the same because it's out of a mold, so you can expect always the same quality. Finishing of Flagellate is very nice. You have here your layers of wood, ash in the middle, and then your different veneers here. This is this black poplar, which looks very good. You have a reinforced tip. You have this nice handle. You have in the same endless string, which is nice. I always like this a little more than Flemish splice. The only thing is the cutouts for the shelf, because you can have this bow without arrow rest or only with one side or on the other side. These cutouts are a little raw and almost straight, so it would be nice if they would make them, the bottom part, a little more round and finishing them up a little more. But on the other side, this bow is 75 euros and you get a laminated bow for it, so take a bit sandpaper and on whatever and finish it by yourself and it's fine. The arrow pass is very narrow, which I like, same like with the Snake. Arrow pass on the Mongo is the same width. Finishing is nice. Everything with the Mongo looks a little more raw, no reinforcements on tips. So this is simply, you see the bamboo stripe and then the glued on handle. It's not so refined, but it works. Here you have a rounded shelf, so the arrow only rests on one point and not on a whole shelf, which is a little better than the Flagellate and a little better than the Snake. But you can see it has a slightly curve in it, so it's working. So and here you have your slight curve, and only Flagellate has it almost straight. So, but you could fix that easy with a bit file and a bit sandpaper. So you need to put your hands on that. What you get for the Mongo are some felt pieces for the arrow rest. Then it might not happen, as I showed in my review, that this sharp edge here is always ripping off the fletching. So, and then you always tear down your fletchings. So maybe when these felt pieces are on it, it's not a big of a deal. I didn't do it yet and I don't want to do it now. So, but we go from there. Quickly, the wiggle test of the Snake. It's very stiff in both directions. So it's really forgiving, a perfect beginner's bow. And of course you can shoot this bow now Mediterranean. Draws nice, shoots nice, has a 320 grain, a little vibration left, but not annoying at all. is accurate, does the job. That's why we have them here since years. Nice. Flagella, wiggle, stiff, totally stiff. So this one is not twisting, not bending at all. Draw curve here is a little steeper, so the snake goes a little more flat, and this one you feel it already a bit better, and here at the end it's getting really a little tougher. So draw curve of the snake like this, and this one at the end a little more up, but still fine. Oh wait, this is the wrong arrow. That's why it was so loud. We shoot heavy arrows with this one. You heard that? Boom. There's a little guitar built in. But still shoots nice, and the handle feels very good. You get used to it. Nice one. And then we have the Mongo. Now I have 2 arrows left. Let's shoot 2. Less vibration than the Lija LJA. Overall more silent, but you need to get used to this handle here. This is a little tricky, so for me, shooting experience wise, the Snake, but of course I am used to the Snake. We shoot them here since almost 7 years, so that's why this is my daily driver. With the Mongo you can get used to it, same like with the Flagella. Mediterranean, thumb release, if you want. You can shoot this bow left hand, so especially for a club or something like this, and you see down there, see the group? Hola, few raindrops. Same with the Flagella, Flat Bow, Mediterranean, thumb release, left hand, but I don't turn around. You simply trust me on that. 2 center shots. Quite accurate. And of course the same with the Mongo. Mediterranean. Always goes a little high with this one, so yeah, maybe the knocking point is not correct. Yep, they shoot a little too high. Let's knock above this knocking point. Oh, then it works, so knocking point is too low. One thing, I made the knocking point more like with a long bow, so not too much up like with a recurve bow, but you really have to put the knocking point like it would be a recurve bow. So it needs to be a little higher, otherwise the arrows always go a little high. And of course, if you want to see, back there you see the big target, it's on 30 meters, the snake bow, Mediterranean. Oh, see, 30 meters, 20 pounds. Yep. Oh, and too low again. So, Lija LJA, 30 meters. Ooh. This bow is loud compared to the other ones. Ah, yeah, you get there. Mongo, Mediterranean. Drops a little again. Ooh, that was too high. Yeah, you get used to it, you need to find the sweet spot. Like so. Of course you can do with the snake bow, you're holding the arrows on your bow hand. Works actually quite well. You put them out and you shoot. No problem. You can turn them the other way around and shoot them with thumb release. Works nice. So you can do everything with this bow. Works. Lija LJA. You can do that. It's fine. You can do this with a Lija LJA. Look, no problem. The other way around works too. Well, that's noisy. Mongo. It's fine. This handle is quite nice for it because it's very narrow. Tip is loose. So So this works, everything works. Everything works just fine. Boom! Nice. Conclusion, which bow to get? One thing I forgot to mention. These bows, this one, Flat LJA and the Mongo are symmetrical bows. So that means the handle is in the middle of the bow. That means the arrow shoots roughly 2.5 or 3 inches above the middle, so not exactly in the center of the string, both of these bows. Snake on the other side, slightly asymmetrical, so the handle is a little lower, that the arrow goes through the middle of the bow, which is beneficial. Maybe that's why it feels a little better, or it feels better because it's a recurve bow, so you have a bit more the smooth draw at the end because of the recurves. What I can tell you from experience now of the last 6 years, the snake bow will lose power. So we have still a few bows from the beginning, from 6 years ago. They were supposed to have 22 pounds. They have now maybe 14 pounds left. So this plastic is losing its poundage over the years. But on the other side, considering the price, you shoot it 2-3 years and it should be fine. With these two bows, I don't expect a big loss in poundage because it's fiberglass limbs and wood should last a little longer, so they might drop a little, so maybe 1-2 pounds or 3 pounds, but not more. And that's why durability wise, from the poundage, these two are most probably a little better than the snake. On the other side, depending on the weather conditions where you are, we had this last time, you know, when you have a very hot, very humid country, all these lamination thingies can be a problem. Can be, must not be. With these bows, there's not so much pressure, so you have it with these short Asiatic reflex bows that they delaminate quite quickly in very hot, humid conditions. This one I don't see a big problem, and with this one I don't see a big problem either, because you don't have, you know, this is it's all in an ease, and there you don't reach any limitations with these bows. But of course, if you have the problem of harsh weather conditions, a piece of plastic doesn't mind, will never delaminate. We had a few in the beginning, they broke mostly here, but because we drew them 32 inches, and then you overdo it here, and then you get here a lot of pressure, and it's simply only a piece of plastic. So they lose their power, but of course they are for every weather conditions perfectly usable. On the other side, what you have, we use them here for our combat archery, so people run around, they drop them on the floor. You know, sometimes they reload between, and then they, even when you point, you know, let me show you. You do this, but you don't see anything. I let this one shoot on the weekend of some people, and look here, you have a scratch. Somebody was simply with the arrow scratching. So this glass is more, it's not so resistant to some damage. So here they directly have a scratch in it. That's why here you need to be a bit more careful. You can mess these bows a little up optically. Doesn't do anything now, but it doesn't look nice. With a snake bow, they are in use for a month, and many beginners shoot these bows. As said, we shoot them in combat, they drop them on the floor, you don't see anything. And if you want, you can make a leather wrap handle around, then you overcome this problem here. Then it feels a little nicer, you don't have one piece of plastic there, which can, when you have sweaty hands, can get a little slippery, but you have a good grip on it. And what I like on the snake bow, the shelf is very high. So especially for your target picture, you have here a clean target picture. Whereas on this bow, you see the shelf is here, the most narrow, and then it goes already out and out to the normal width of the limb. So here your target picture is a little different. I don't know, it's subtle, but for me it makes a difference. And here the same, narrowest point, and then it goes out. So this is, when you see this one and this one in comparison, you see that the black one goes straight up and the other one widens up already directly after the arrow shelf. And this is that these snake bows have something. They're nice, but of course we have many people when they want to spend 100 euros or something for a bow, but they don't want to buy a piece of plastic because it feels for them like, I don't know, I don't want a piece of plastic. Then you have here two nice options with two different kind of handles. So they are both reflex, but this is deflex reflex, this is only reflex. They have the same length. This one draws 28 inches, this one draws 30 inches. But on the other side, this one could be drawn 30 inches, but safe draw is 28. So when something happens, it was not be so 28, 29, 30. Feels still good. There is no stacking, so you can draw this bow 30 inches, but on the website it's written max draw 28. I'm just only telling you. This one, different opinions out there, but 30 easy. So there is no stacking, 30 inches goes easy. So if you don't want a piece of plastic, you can choose between these two. But the best would be always to have them in your hand. You need to feel the handle. This one is quite roundish, quite fat. Gives you good control. This one I didn't like in the beginning, but the longer I have it in my hands, it's not bad. It's very deep, but very narrow. Is here profiled, so your thumb rests there, your index rests there. You can shoot your, there's this other style, but even our style here works just fine, and you have control over the bow. So this is the major difference. Is here the handle, and then of course the optics. You can have the Lija LJA in 3 different kinds of finishes, and black poplar looks to me quite good. This one looks good too, so this is simply matter of taste. This one is a little louder than this one, and you hear already that this one stops already. Has a little hand shock, but then stops. This one here you hear like going on, going on, going on, going on, going on. So this one you have here a bit more vibration going on than with the other one. Hand shock, you have everywhere a little hand shock and a little vibration. And this one is kind of in the middle of both, or almost as the Lija LJA. So you have vibration too, but you don't feel it that much. Why? Because the handle is off center. And we had this once, I explained it to you. Why do we have an asymmetrical bow? The vibration comes from the tip and comes from the tip. And it goes in, and it meets exactly in the middle of the bow. When the middle of the bow is exactly your handle, then you feel it, of course. Go away from my shoe, and then of course you feel it. Here you feel it. This one here, this would be the middle of the bow, but you hold the bow here. So the vibration comes exactly here, a little above your hand. So you don't feel it that much. If the material doesn't play a big role for you, you don't mind if it's plastic or wood, I would still go with the snake bow, because when you're lucky you can find them 50, 60 euros on the internet. They were good, they are good for 2-3 years of shooting. And then they lose a little poundage, but of course you can get the 26 pound. You will lose a little poundage, then you have a 22 or a 20 pound. It's still nice for practicing everything, training, whatever. You can do everything with this bow. If you want to have no plastic, if you want to have a wood twin bow, then you have these two nice ones. They are not recurve, but they're nice. And I said the only thing is the handle. Both are very forgiving, very durable, easy to string, easy to maintain. There's nothing negative to say to them. A bit more vibration, a little less vibration, but both have vibration and a little hand shock. Simply shoot heavy enough arrows with it. We will stick with the snake bows here, because they're overall, for me, price and performance, the best bang for the buck, so to say. And I don't mind if it's a piece of plastic. For me, durability here is way more important, and that they even after a year look good when they get beaten up by different people, scratches and whatever. You don't see anything here directly. If somebody doesn't pay attention, you have a scratch in it and it's glass, you have it in it, and then you see it. And so they will be beaten up quite soon. And the leather handle for you personally is okay. For me, for a club, I prefer to have plastic, because this one you wipe with a wet cloth or something, you know, for the hygiene manner. Then it's clean again. In summertime, and you have this weight and somebody has sweaty hands, then this is soaked with his sweat, dries out, and then the next one has it in his hands. You know, this is more for your own personal use, fine with a leather wrap. For me, for a club, I prefer to have it like this, because then you can easily clean it. So it's for me easier. That's why we will stick with the snake bows here for the range. It's not really a winner or a loser. They're all good. And I'm off. Thank you for watching. I catch you in the next one.